Hello friends, and welcome to the craft room. I'm Alicia and I'm here in my 1902 farmhouse on a chilly, snowy day, and we're going to work on week 30, our eyelet lace block for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along. This one doesn't have the edging on it yet, but we're going to work on building this block together. So get your supplies and let's get started. So go ahead and grab your size H crochet hook in whatever color you have determined to be color A for your Heirloom Afghan crochet along. Mine is white, and so I will be using white today. With your color A, you're going to go ahead and start with a slip knot, making sure you leave a nice long tail to sew in later. Get that onto your hook, and we're going to chain 32 loosely. Now, this is going to be a lovely pattern you can use for other things. If you want to make something larger, just know that your multiple 6 plus 2 would be your starting chains. So we're going to be starting a chain of 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30, 31, and 32. So we have our nice, neat chain of 32 here. Let's go ahead and get started on row 1. We're going to be placing a single crochet in the 8th chain from the hook. Not counting what's already on our hook, we're going to count over 8 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right here in this 8th chain, we're just going to go ahead and place a single crochet. There we go, and that creates this loop here at the end of our row. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1, 2, and place a single crochet in the chain after that, right there. There we go. So now we've got these 2 loops in our work. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1, 2, and place a single crochet in the next chain, right there. Now this pattern mixes things up a little bit. We're not going to chain 4, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and place a single crochet in the next chain. And we're going to do that again. Chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, placing a single crochet in the next. There we go. So we did our chain 4, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. We're going to go back to chaining 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, placing a single crochet in the very next chain. Here we go. And just like before, we're going to make these 2 little loops here. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, placing a single crochet in the next one. There we go. We're going to do it one more time. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 1, 2, and placing a single crochet in the next chain. There we go. Now we're running out of room here. We're down to our last 3. 1, 2, 3. We're down to our last 3 chains. We're not going to chain 4. We're not going to kind of continue on this pattern of 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. You would think you'd want to chain 4 here, but you're not going to. Instead, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and right here in our very last chain, we're going to complete a half double crochet. Now, why all of a sudden are we throwing a half double crochet in here? Because if we just slip stitched here, we're going to be down, and then we'll have to chain up to work our next row. But if we do a half double crochet, as we work that half double crochet, it's like creating a slip stitch and then creating our chains up. So we're all ready to work on our next row. Yes, we still chain, but this completes this little hole that we made here. So as we look at round 1, we're going to have 9 little loops across our block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make sure you count them and make sure you have them. And you're going to have kind of a wider loop here, a wider loop here, a wider loop here, and a wider loop here. It looks off kilter to me. I don't know why the pattern is written this way, but that's the way it is. So row 2 for our week 30 eyelet lace block for our crochet along. We're going to chain 1, if I can get it to work. There we go, chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Right here in this very first loop, we're just going to place a single crochet. We're going to go into that loop and grab our yarn and pull it through, and yarn over and complete that single crochet. That's all we're doing in this loop. We're going to move over to the next loop right here, and we're going to place 4 double crochet all in this one loop right here. So yarn over, placing it into that loop, grabbing our yarn and pulling it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 1. We're going to do that 3 more times. There's 2. There's 3. You get a little bit more yarn up here. And there's 4. Now we're going to move over to our next loop here, and we're going to place a single crochet. Now when you place a single crochet and then your double crochets and single crochets, it makes this nice little arch for our eyelet lace. That's all we're putting in this loop here, is this single crochet. We're going to move over to the next loop and do 4 double crochet again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Moving to the next loop that we made, we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet. Moving to the next loop, 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going to our next loop, 1 single crochet. Going to our next loop, 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right here to the very end, we're going to place a single crochet in our very last loop, and that completes row 2. So as we look at row 2, we just have a series of single crochets followed by 4 double crochets, and it starts making this lovely little arch pattern for our eyelet lace. Let's move on to row 3. For row 3, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to place a single crochet in the very first double crochet. Right here, this is a single crochet. But over here, now don't confuse where this loop pulls up as a double crochet. Don't do that. Use your fingers to kind of separate your work and make sure you can find those 4 double crochet, because when you single crochet in these loops, they pull up the sides of the loops and they almost look like a double crochet. Single those out. Here we've got these 4 double crochet that we've been working in. The next part of our pattern, after chaining 4, it says we're going to place a single crochet in the first double crochet. This is a single crochet right here. Here's our first double crochet. Let's place a single crochet in there. There we go, right there. And you see here, it creates a loop at the end of our row. Just like down here, now we've got a loop right here. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip the next 2 double crochet. So we're going to skip this double crochet, skip this double crochet, and place a single crochet in the next double crochet right there. So as we look at our 4 double crochet, they're flanked on either side with single crochets, and then it's got a loop in between, okay? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got these 2 chains in between and 2 single crochet at the ends. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip this single crochet right here, and we're going to place a single crochet in the next double crochet, which is right here. So here's a single crochet, and here's a double crochet. We're going to place a single crochet in there. Chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, which are double crochets, and we're going to go to the next stitch here, which is our last double crochet. Remember of our little grouping there? Right here, into that last double crochet, place a single crochet. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's that single crochet. We're going to skip that single crochet, go to our first double crochet, and complete a single crochet. Chain 2. 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and place a single crochet right here in the next stitch, which is our last double crochet of that grouping. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip the single crochet, placing a single crochet in the first double crochet of this grouping right here. Chain 2. 1, 2. Skip 2. 1, 2, and place a single crochet right there in that last double crochet. Now we're to the end of our row, and we've got our last single crochet right here. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and again that half double crochet is going to come into play. We're going to yarn over and go into that single crochet right here at the end of our row. Pull our yarn through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. That creates the very last loop and brings our work up where it needs to be. So let's look at row 3. Row 3, once again, we should have 9 loops. Let's see what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we've got 9 little loops again. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to repeat row 2 and row 3 until our piece measures the 7-inch square that we need. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work the next row with you, just because this is just one of those patterns where you kind of feel like, I don't even think I want to do this. You get to a certain stage and you're ready to quit, but don't quit. We're going to do row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. In our very first loop, a single crochet. There we go. Look at that, so simple. Then we're going to 4 double crochet in the next loop. 1 double crochet, there's no chains in between, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, and 4 double crochet. Going to our next loop, a single crochet. Going to our next loop, 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going to our next loop, single crochet. Going to our next loop, 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. My little dog is at my feet and she's snoring in count with me. Every time I say a stitch, she snores. Next loop, single crochet. Next loop, 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our very last loop of the row, single crochet. And here we have row 3 completed, and you'll see that your eyelet lace, you're going to have these loops all the way across, and these beautiful little shells that are being created for our eyelet lace pattern. We're going to do one more row, and then I will meet up with you at the end when we're getting close to our 7-inch square to measure things up and finish off our block. So let's just do one more row together, just because I know this one's a confusing one. Repeating row 3, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn our work. This is a single crochet. This is our first double crochet right here. We're going to place a single crochet into that double crochet. Boom, just like that. Creates a little loop at the end of our work. Chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip 1, 2 double crochet, and we're going to go right here to our very last double crochet of this group of 4, and we're going to place a single crochet there. There we go. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip over this single crochet, and we're going to place a single crochet in the very first double crochet, which is the very next stitch right there. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip the next 2 double crochets, so the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to place a single crochet right there in the very next one, which is our last double crochet from the prior round. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip over that single crochet and place a single crochet in the very first double crochet of this grouping. So right there goes a single crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and place a single crochet in that last double crochet of that grouping of 4. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip the single crochet, place a single crochet in that first double crochet right there of our grouping. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and place a single crochet right here in this last double crochet of the prior round. There we go. We're at the end. What do we do here? We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go to our single crochet right here. We're going to place a half double crochet in that single crochet. When you go through, make sure you get both the front loop and the back loop, okay? Pull your yarn through and complete that half double crochet. There we go. And we have another row of eyelet lace and loops completed. Let's count again. Let's make sure we've got enough loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I know it looks a little cattywampus, but as you get this going, this is going to turn into a beautiful block for our Afghan. So I'm going to continue repeating rows 2 and rows 3 until my block is approximately 7-inch square, and I'll meet you back on my last row. Okay, I've just finished my last row of our little scallops here for our eyelet lace block, and I've brought up block 19 to kind of compare it for size. And you might say, oh, it looks smaller, you should make another row. Well, what I'm going to do, and what I want you to consider is, we started with a row of these little loops down here. So when we finish at the top, we want there to be a row of loops. And since this is an eyelet lace pattern, we do want it to have a little bit of a give to it once we get it onto our Afghan, so that all of the detail and all of the beauty of these little gaps and loops that we made show through. So having said that, knowing that I'll probably block this one, I've got these little loops at the bottom. I'll line that up at the bottom, and once I give it just a little bit of a stretch, I'll be able to see that I can have my final row, which will be the row of loops across the top, and I'll be done. So let's do those last little row of loops together, and then we'll be ready to add our edging. So let me remove block 19 out of the way. I've chained up 4, and I single crocheted into my first double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have this pretty down pat by now. Skip the single crochet and single crochet into the first double crochet. Chain 2, skip 2 and single crochet into that last double crochet of that grouping. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet into the first double crochet, chain 2. Single crochet into the last single crochet, chain 4. Single crochet into the first double crochet, chain 2. Single crochet into the last double crochet, and we're at the end, so we're going to chain 2 and half double crochet into the single crochet from the prior row. Going through all 3 loops there. There we go. So now we're done with this block, except for the edging. I'll put the link to the edging up in the corner here, so you have that link. And then don't fasten off your yarn, because you're going to do round 1, and depending on what color you've chosen to put your work together with, possibly round 2 of your edging that I'm going to put the link up above, and you're going to use that to complete all the way around and make your square square and all ready to be joining when we get all of our blocks together. Only one last thing to do once you get your edging on, and that's get yourself a tag, identify it, go ahead and write on here week 30 for our crochet along, for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along, and this one is called Eyelet Lace. All right, friends, that's it from the craft room for today. I will see you again next time when we get together for week 31. Until I see you for that next week's block, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.